Welcome to the Group Dentistry Now Show, the voice of the DSO industry. Kim Larson and Bill Newman talk to industry leaders about their challenges, successes, and the future of group dentistry. Visit groupdentistrynow.com for more DSO analysis, news, and events. Looking for a job or have a job to fill? Visit joindso.com. We hope you enjoy today's show.
Hey, I'd like to welcome everybody back to the Group Dentistry Now Show. I'm Bill Newman, and as always, thanks everybody for watching us on YouTube or listening to us on Apple, Spotify, or Google. We appreciate it. We are over 100 podcasts now, episodes, so it's awesome. Something that I got pulled into begrudgingly, and it's been a lot of fun. I learned so much from our guests, and so we're going to learn a lot about the DSO Leadership Summit. Maybe some of you listening or watching have been to the event. I'm sure you've heard of it. If you haven't, you're going to hear a lot about it today. So we've got three guests here. We have Ali Oromchian, and he is the CEO of HR for Health. And we also have Jill Hasselmann. She is the Director of Strategy at HR for Health. And Gary Takacs. Now, to say this, I'm a little nervous because Gary is a professional podcaster. I'm only semi-pro. And so he's going to give me a grade probably afterward. And if it's not a good grade, I'm just going to edit it out. And then I'm going to put my voice over it and it'll be an A+. So we have Gary.
So far, so good, Bill.
Very good. He's the founder of the Takacs Learning Center. And also he's going to be the MC this year at the DSO Leadership Summit. He took a pause last year from it, but I remember the first event the first DSO Leadership Summit I went to, I think it was 2019. You were the MC. Does that sound right?
Yeah, Bill. So I've actually been involved in this DSO Leadership Summit since the beginning, and this is the 7th. But that's right. Your memory serves you well. I was the MC in 2019.
And Group Dentistry Now is really thankful to partner again. We were for the first time last year. So I was an attendee, and I liked it so much. I figured out a way to partner with HR for Health and become part of the DSO Leadership Summit. And not that we're going to focus on the past, but last year, in spite of COVID and in spite of vaccine mandates and all sorts of things working against us, the event was fabulous. We had over 300 attendees. We had, I think it was like 82 groups represented. We had our emerging groups to watch awards for the first time, and it really, really worked out well. So now we have to one up that. And so we're going to talk about how Jill is making that happen. No pressure, Jill.
Yes.
So the event this year is coming up. It's October 6th through the 8th, and it's going to be in Nashville at the Lowe's Hotel, which is right by Vanderbilt University, a little bit outside the city, but pretty close. And we've got all sorts of cool things that are going on, not just at the hotel, but we've got a couple things that we want to talk about that are going to be off-site. And then a couple additions this year, and maybe we can talk a little bit about that. Jill, do you want to talk about some of these events? So we've got something going on right before the DSO Leadership Summit.
Yeah, so the day of registration on Thursday, October 6th, we have two really exciting new events that we're going to be doing this year. So the first one is a workshop focused on marketing and getting new patients, which we all love to talk about. So WEO Media, Simplify, and Patient Prism are going to be hosting the content for this workshop. CE credits are available, actually, which is really great. And then we'll be giving away a free book for attendees. And then the second thing we have going on is a behind-the-scenes look at Smile Direct Club's Smile Lab. So they have an awesome facility in Nashville, and they have worked with us to set up some exclusive tours for the DSO executives that are attending and to actually get access to their state-of-the-art facility that is in Nashville. So both of those events, you do have to sign up for in advance. They have limited capacity, so just check out the website for more details on that. And then Thursday night, we are doing a welcome party that's sponsored by Smile Direct Club, and we will be embracing everything that is Nashville. So maybe pack your cowboy boots, get ready to eat some great food. We're very excited about that.
Really cool. So there are two opportunities, and when you talked about Smile Direct Club, well, both opportunities, there's limited space, right? So you need to register for that.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, very good. So we'll make sure that we note that in the show notes. So, there's going to be, it's really going to be jam-packed. So when you think about it, you arrive, and if you're going to find out how to get new patients, you're going to get right into it, and then go over to Smile Direct Club, right? Check that out. And then there's the Thursday night party. What does Friday look like? Friday's all day content, correct? So we start with breakfast and.
Yep, we start with breakfast on Friday morning, and then we'll have a great day of content. I know we're going to get into the agenda in a little bit. And then there is a special announcement for listeners of this podcast. We have not announced this yet, but the party on Friday night will be at the Musicians Hall of Fame in Nashville, which is a really cool venue. We'll have access to the museum, and just going to be a really great experience. Again, we'll talk a little bit more about that. So all day Friday content, we'll have the party Friday night, half day of content on Saturday, really, really good content on Saturday. If you don't want to miss out on that, don't leave, don't book your flights too early out on Saturday. And then in terms of numbers of people, we're expecting about 500. So we are trying to meet the demand for growth that this event has while still keeping it really intimate. I know that might sound crazy with 500 people, but we are still limiting, each group, each industry partner has 2 representatives from the companies, so we can keep everyone in the same room. All the content is on main stage with everybody in the same place. So if you have not registered, do that right after you listen to this, or maybe even while you're listening to it, to make sure you can get in.
Yeah, and we're going to give you many reasons why you should register. So, and again, personally being an attendee and then being a part of the event, what I really liked is the fact that it was intimate, right? And you say 500, but it's also a great balance of dental practices, emerging groups, DSOs, and then vendors. So it's never imbalanced. Like some events you go to and it's a sea of vendors, and there's 1 or 2 dentists there, and you're trying to, everybody's trying to attack the dentist. It's always very well balanced. And I think part of it has to do with the way it's managed, but then the content too, that is really geared to those DSOs and emerging groups. So you could have 1 or 2 locations, and then you may see people there that have 20 or 30 locations.
Exactly.
Yep. So you're expecting what, 450 to 500? Is that what you're saying? Yes.
The fire marshal will be upset with anyone over 500. So we're going to pack it to the gills, but in a safe way.
So there's not going to be 501 there, even if there are 501. The fire marshal won't know that.
Yeah, exactly. Ali's going to have to talk to the fire marshal if they come around.
That's right.
Yeah, that's Ali's job.
Yeah.
Well, good. So, again, is there anything more you want to highlight, Jill, or anyone, about that Thursday night? Because, Thursday and then into the night before we move on to Friday.
I don't think so. I think that, again, check out our website. We don't want to spend too much time going through everything, but we have a lot of details on our website for that. And like I said, it is part of the registration process. So you'll see those options too, if you would like to sign up for those. We do have 2 tours actually for the Smile Direct Club tours. So there'll be 2 different ones. Smile Direct Club is busing everybody over there and back to the event. So you don't have to worry about getting rides or anything like that. But if you're interested, sign up sooner rather than later to make sure you can get your spot.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, and this will be in the show notes, we'll mention it a couple times, it's DSO Leadership Summit.com, and that'll put you right there to register. So Gary, you've been involved in the event for a long time. So can you give us a little bit of perspective as to why you got involved and why you stuck it out so long?
Yeah, and you're right, Bill. I've been involved since its genesis, since the beginning, and this is simply one of the most exciting meetings in dentistry. And I would characterize that for 2 reasons: the quality of the people attending and the quality of the content. Both amazing. And really, what makes it unique is. And Jill, I have to give you and Ali and now Bill a lot of credit for this, is that you've created a forum of sharing information. And so often that doesn't occur in our profession. When you go to local dental society meetings, let's face it, not a lot of sharing really goes on. But this is a forum where there's a genuine culture of sharing information with those in attendance. And I really think that characterized that's what really sets this meeting apart. And there's a wide cross section by design, by invitation, but by design. There's a wide cross section of those that are involved in DSOs attending. From emerging DSOs that are starting and growing to midstream and then larger DSOs as well. You'll see it this year, and you'll notice the names of some of the speakers. In fact, the largest, will be here. I'm being discreet there, but you'll find out who that is a little bit later. But really, I would characterize it as the quality of the people, the quality of the content, and the spirit of sharing what works, what isn't working, best practices, mistakes made. Imagine that. Imagine a speaker sharing, knowing what they know now, what they might do differently. And I think what that forum is it's a wonderful collegial spirit. And it's one that any attendee can get a massive amount of information out of because of the forum and because of the environment and the way that's created.
So Gary mentioned something, so maybe we'll let Ali talk a little bit about who that speaker will be, one of the first out of the gate on Friday, since they maybe were part of an emerging group at one point, but no longer for sure.
Yeah.
I think they've graduated.
I would say.
Yeah. Just by a few dental practices. Yeah, no, we're super excited to have Gary MC for us. He did a great job a few years ago, of course, and you're right, Gary. I mean, you hit it on the head. Our goal was to focus on the small, emerging to large DSOs and really focus on leadership. And it is a safe environment, which is one of the reasons why we're limiting it. We're limiting the number of industry partners there, but also wanting it to be really an intimate group of DSO leadership, because we want people to share their best practices. We want them to open the kimono, as you would say, to share all the things that are going well, but also the things that are not going well. And I think that's one of the things that makes our conference one of the top 3 conferences in the DSO realm, is because people are willing to share. Right? It's not just about who's got the biggest and who's got the biggest, largest practices. It's about really growing as a community, growing as an industry in dental, and allowing for everyone to thrive, because as we all kind of thrive, I think everyone does well. But we're super excited about our agenda, and as you guys mentioned, there's a couple of really exciting things to announce. One is that Pat Bauer is going to be joining us and is going to be kicking us off by really talking about the state of the industry and talking about the lessons that he learned when they were small and struggling with employees and HR issues and growth issues to where they are today, and the things that they've done to outgrow those struggles, and then the new struggles that they now experience. And I think this is something that a lot of dental practices experience, but they just don't know how to handle it. And if you are hearing it from the man who's done it successfully thousands of times, literally, you've got to be able to pick up some tidbits. So we're excited about that. And, we're excited about a few other things on the agenda as well. The DSO diagnosis, which, Bill is moderating, but we've got some really great people on the panel, and we're taking DSOs now who want to participate in the diagnosis. If you're interested in that, please submit your information to info@dsosummit.com. So info@dsosummit.com. And we're going to be selecting our DSOs to do a diagnosis on. And it's great, because if you guys watched the video from last year, there was a lot of vulnerability there. And Bill, you were there as the moderator. You saw it firsthand. I mean, they exposed themselves, but they also got a lot out of it. And I think they're usually things that translate to all dental practices. So we're super excited about that too.
Ali, I'll comment I'll make a comment about Pat. I've known Pat for many, many, many years, and one of the things I love about Pat is, his transparency, and I think you're going to see that in action. And we really get the opportunity to kind of sit at the seat of a master there in terms of their story, and he's very transparent and I know that he believes in a spirit of, the rising tide raises all boats. And the DSO space there's a lot of exciting things that are happening these days. And there's a lot of different flavors of DSOs. There isn't a one size fits all. And I think we can all learn, from one another. One of the other things I think that's kind of unique in all this is, there's also, because I know so many of the speakers, there's also a focus on the patient side of all this. And that's really exciting because we all know that a pathway to a thriving practice is to provide a great experience for our patients. And I think you're going to see that here, where that's often a missing link, on the DSO space, where it's a lot about numbers and growth and locations and all of that. Yeah, that's all important. That's cool stuff too. But let's not forget that at the very core level, it's about serving our patients. And in that regard, I think you're going to find a really unique mindset and unique content from our speakers on that piece too.
Yeah, I think what's going to be interesting and what really differentiates the DSO Leadership Summit, because maybe some in the audience have heard Pat Bauer speak before, but I think what he's going to speak about is going to be really unique. So when I kind of look back and I go, why as an attendee, why did I like this so much? And then why did we end up wanting to partner? Are really the thing. So Pat, again, you go to some of these events and you see a lot of the same speakers, unfortunately, and sometimes it's the same messaging. So I'll assure you that what Pat has lined up is going to be really unique. And I think it's going to help emerging groups in particular, from the recruitment standpoint and engagement with their with patients and then also with their employees as well, and what they've built. But I also think that some of the speakers that we have, you've never heard from before, which is what is really unique. So you've got people that are doing great things in the industry that really haven't been able to have their voice heard. And so you're going to hear from people that maybe are from groups that have 7 or 8 or 10 locations, but are doing some really incredible things. So I just think the messaging's different. The voices are really unique. And I know Jill worked really hard this year on trying to find people that are doing incredible things, but maybe you just haven't heard from before. And I'm excited. I mean, some of the names, I'm cheating over here. So I've got another screen and I'm looking at the speakers and I see Linda Ryan from Pacific Dental Services is one of my all-time favorites in the HR space. And she's done, even though a large group, she's worked for big, small. She was a dental assistant before. She's doing some really, really cool things. And, we can go on about a lot of them. So that's one of the big differentiators is people you've never heard from before. And again, even though you may have heard from Pat, the messaging is going to be pretty unique. So excited
Bill,
about that.
I think you hit it on the head. That the key is that although some of these speakers have spoken obviously before in other venues, what they're going to be speaking about are things that are not public, like the things that we know Pat wants to talk about, that he came up with himself, are things that are not publicly known about what they do. And those are the little nuggets that I think everyone can take away who's attending, because it's easy to look at them and say, oh, you're a private equity backed and you're this and you're that and you're so large. But it's not about that. It's all the little things that everyone can do that has gotten them to this place of success. And Linda will say the same thing about, different things that they do. And I think that's the key. And that's the feedback we got last year, that is, you're really in there, you're really listening, you're really taking away things that are applicable to your practice, no matter if you're 2 offices or you're 20 offices. So we're super excited.
The takeaway opportunity here is tremendous. The ability to take the information away and apply it. It's meant to be practical. I've seen, the outlines of the presentations, and the takeaway opportunity really is incredible. And I think on a practical level, you'll get a lot of useful information that you can immediately apply. Not ivory tower, not academic, not theoretic, but actual real experience that you can use.
Absolutely. If you're a speaker that is listening to this that has had a call with me, or maybe more than one call, you know that everything we talk about, I'm drilling down of, okay, but how are you doing that? Or why did that go wrong? And really getting to like the nuts and bolts of how things work, because anyone can talk about the sunshine and rainbows aspect and what's going well. And of course, we do want to have some optimism, but we want to learn from these experts on stage, or people, again, that you maybe have never heard from that have a unique experience going through this. So it's really important for us to give tangible elements that people can walk away with. And I think also one thing I want to highlight, kind of tying in what Gary was saying about patient experience and also people that you may have never heard of, I'm really excited about one of our panels with the American Academy of Developmental Medicine and Dentistry, so AADMD. They are an amazing group that supports dental offices in training to treat patients with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So there is about 40 million people in the United States that have some sort of intellectual or developmental disability, and that is a huge base of your patients. And so they're going to be giving us insight on how this ties into a lot of different elements, not just from a training perspective, but a marketing strategy. Can these types of patients find you if you are able to give the special treatment? The financial incentive. So one of the members of the panel, his sole job is to work as a liaison with members of Congress and passing different grants that are available for these offices. So I'm really excited about this panel. I think it's going to be really interesting. And just a funny story, as I was working on putting this panel together, I actually got a call from one of our DSO clients, and they were calling me for HR help because they had a patient or an employee that filmed treatment with a patient. And, they were calling because they wanted to figure out, do I terminate or what do I do? But the reason why that employee was filming their treatment was because the patient suffered from autism and was very sensitive to sound, what was going on in the treatment. And so she was kind of trying to show, look how difficult this process was. And so when the DSO called me, I was like, you'll never believe what I'm working on. And their eyes, she said, you don't realize you're on speakerphone with my entire management team, and we all want to come to the DSO Summit now to learn about how we can get this training. So I think it's really relevant, and it's stuff that is not really talked about, that the attendees will be able to have tangible things. We're going to make sure there's a lot of resources in that training that you can walk away and help your teams with to get that ball rolling.
I think that's great. It's certainly unique. Nobody in the DSO space or any space is really talking about this or doing this. So as I look at the agenda here, everything is really unique. I mean, we talked about the DSO diagnosis, but if you haven't been to the event, it's a little bit difficult to explain, but you've got 3 experts on the stage, and these DSO would sign up, and you certainly can sign up for this if you'd like. If you're a small group and maybe you're having some challenges, you want to get up on stage, maybe practice a little bit, but you share some of your challenges, and you have Ali, who can help on the HR side or on the legal side of things. We'll have Joshua Gwynn, who can help on the operations side, and then Maria Malone, who can help on the finance accounting side of things. And I again, when I was attendee, Gary was moderating one of them, and I got a kick out of it. I just thought it was a great, my favorite, and so I kind of worked my way to moderate this one coming up this year. And one of the interesting things,
good move, Bill.
It was it's so much fun. And one of the really cool things, and I don't even know if Ali or Jill know this, is that one of the DSOs that was actually being diagnosed last year, MI Smiles, Dr. Dykstra, actually his DSO won the Emerging Group to Watch Award, one of them. And so we'll be celebrating him. So he was being diagnosed last year, and now he's going to win an award on Friday night this year. So really kind of cool.
That's amazing.
Bill, another one of the really cool segments that's happening this year too is, a question that I think crosses the mind of anybody in the DSO space, and that is, do you do a de novo or you do acquisition? And Ali, I think you've got some thoughts about that and about that segment as relates to the Nashville Leadership Summit.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, no, Gary, you're exactly right. I think this is a question and a struggle that all these growing DSOs, these emerging DSOs always have is, do I do a startup or do I buy? Do I grow? Which way is the best way to grow? And we've got some really great speakers on the panel to go head to head really on this topic. And we've told them, they're not to pull any punches. I mean, they're going to go at it and they're going to tell the truth about, which model might be best for you based on their experience. And then we've got a special third speaker for the de novo and acquisition, and he doesn't know it yet. Actually, we're going to surprise him, but we've got a third speaker who's going to give his view on the fact that it may be neither the de novo nor the acquisition as the option for growth. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. And we'll see. We'll see if we can get him away from his podcast to do it for us. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, wait a minute. And Jill, I understand you're going to be introducing something that I want to just, for the record, say I have absolutely zero experience with, having just celebrated my 40th anniversary, and that would be speed dating. Oh, but wait a minute, you're doing speed dating a little bit differently. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so, as if we didn't have enough when we're putting on this summit, we decided to throw a brand new thing in this year. So you probably heard me mention earlier, you don't want to miss out on Saturday. Do not leave early, because Saturday morning, we're really excited. We are going to have, we're calling it speed dating. You think of it however you want. Essentially, it's one-on-one with some experts. So we're going to be running 2 tracks of speed dating in the morning. This is before main stage content starts. So everyone will have the opportunity to go. So the first one we're kind of looking at and calling it like the building blocks of growth. And so that speed dating event is going to be focusing on giving you one-on-one time with people that you might not have access to elsewhere, or could be a lot of money for you to pay to have access to their advice. So representation from private equity, venture capital, investment banking, traditional banking, some legal, real estate. Again, really looking at what is your plan for growth? And we even recommend bring your business plan, or if you don't have one, that's a really good reason to go to that session. So you can get that one-on-one advice on what your plan is. And then simultaneously, we're going to be running an emerging technology event that's speed dating. So we've gone through countless companies that we want to put you in front of, the best technology that is emerging that you probably don't even know exists, that you need to know about. So of course, the classic AI, but also, the payment side of things. So revenue cycle management, patient payments, insurance verification, but there's some really cool technologies. And even on the AI side, it might not just be the classic AI you're thinking about. We also found a company that has AI when it comes to your office admin tasks. So actually having that artificial intelligence to tell your team what to do. We're going to have a table with a couple ortho tech companies, again, you probably haven't heard from. So really excited about these. We recommend, because most DSOs have 2 representatives from their group that are coming, send 1 to each. Get that exposure. That will be on Saturday morning. Again, the first year we're doing this. We're partnering with Revere Partners to put this on. Jeremy Krell has so much knowledge in the industry and what's hot and new. And so we want to bring that to you so you kind of hear it. You'll hear it here first.
Yeah.
So that's Saturday morning.
That's Saturday morning, yes.
I do want to focus a little bit on, which we didn't talk about, which was so much fun last year. We did it for the first time, is the Emerging Groups to Watch Award. So that's Friday night, and it's not going to be at the hotel. It's going to be at the Musicians Hall of Fame. And I've been to Nashville a bunch of times, never been. I'm really excited to go. And this event, it is, so last year we weren't really sure because it was the first year we did it, right? So we weren't sure how many people were going to end up going to the awards. And I thank goodness that the fire marshal didn't see how many people we had, because we were maxed out. So everybody will be at this event, and you definitely have to pack a nice dress or a suit and tie because people get decked out for this. But however you come to the event, just make sure you show up because we are handing out awards to the emerging groups to watch in 2022. And got a great list, and I actually pulled it up over here. We've got the Smilist is going to be there, Dynamic Growth Dental Services, Imagine Dental Partners, MI Smiles, which is Dr. Dykstra that we talked about. I talked to Mick Janess over at Oak Point. He's going to bring a bunch of his team. Operation Dental, Our Best Life Companies, really cool model that they have. Pepper Point Partnerships, Rick Bene. And so it's going to be a really good bunch there, and just super excited to hand out those awards. People get dressed up, have fun, celebrate that they won an award, talk a little bit about their group, and hopefully some of the attendees will learn some words of wisdom.
Yeah.
And as a note, we will be busing people to and from. So again, you don't have to worry about rides. That's all part of it. If you want to go out in downtown Nashville afterwards, that's on you, but we will be getting everyone back to the hotel from the museum and getting you there as well. So you don't have to worry about coordinating rides or renting a car, nothing like that. We'll make it super easy.
You know, and Nashville really is such a brilliant location for this meeting. If you haven't been to Nashville, you're going to want to come early and stay late. It's just an amazing place. And if you've been, it's a great time to return. There's always something there that's happening that is worthy of your time and entertainment value for sure.
Absolutely. To Gary's point, it's if you've been there and it hasn't been in the past 3 months, it probably looks totally different because the city's growing so much that there's always something new to see. So as we start to wrap this up here, I guess a couple of things on my end, and I'll let everybody, if I missed anything, please make sure if you're going to sign up for this, we can save you 10%. So it's real easy. You can use the GDN 2022 code, and that'll save you 10%. And I am really, and Jill, if I'm speaking out of turn, let me know, but I believe this will sell out. So this isn't something you're going to wait till the last minute. We've already had some people, vendor partners in particular, that are like, hey, can I get in? And they're like, this is balanced. So you've been holding off on some registrations. So.
Yeah, so industry partner registration has a wait list at this point. You know, Bill has done a great job highlighting that. It is really important for us to have a balance. Our content is for these emerging groups. We work so hard to make sure they can hear it. So we have to make sure there's room for them. And it's, again, so important for us to have everybody in the same room and not have breakout sessions. There's nothing wrong with that, but it just keeps that intimate feel where everybody's in the same place. And so to do that, we have to limit the numbers. So we will, without a doubt, sell out. We are starting wait lists. Also, if you're a sponsor listening to this that has been asking for sponsorships, we're sold out there as well, but we are starting a wait list for next year. It's crazy to think about 2023, but we are already starting that. So yeah, definitely register ASAP. The other part is it is a big weekend in Nashville. There's some college alumni weekend going on. And so in terms of hotels, book your hotel as soon as possible so that you have a place to stay that's on site and not having to look elsewhere. So yeah, we're really excited. We're, again, good pressure. We're excited to deliver for everyone. Yeah,
I'm going to recognize the work, Bill, that you've done, Ali and Jill, in terms of putting together an incredible agenda at this meeting. It really, the speakers are fabulous, from, veteran speakers, as some we've mentioned, but also emerging experts. And you're really going to enjoy the diversity of the speakers and also the uniqueness of their messaging in that they've customized things specifically for this conference.
Any final words from Ali?
Oh, I'm excited. I know we're going to have some people that are going to want to register last second and it's going to be sold out, and we're going to get those text messages and emails that, but please, try to register early. We've got plenty of hotel rooms for you if you sign up, but just do it, and we'll see you guys there. We're super excited. So.
Yep, super excited as well. And even though it's called the DSO Leadership Summit, it doesn't mean that you have to be a DSO. You may have one practice and be really curious about the model. Maybe you just want to add a second. So you absolutely, this is the event for you, whether you have one location or whether you have 20. Definitely the event. Jill, why don't you shout out the URL so they can sign up?
Yeah, so it is the DSO Leadership Summit.com, DSOLeadershipSummit.com. You can go and register there. And then, like Bill said, we could probably put that in the notes, right, Bill, where we have the discount code for
we'll
everybody.
have all in the show notes, GDN 2022, and you'll save 10%.
Beautiful.
All right.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you.
Thanks,
and
everyone.
when I say all of you, all three of you here on the podcast and all of you listening in Nashville in October. So October 6th through 8th. This is the Group Dentistry Now Show. Thanks for listening or watching us.
The Group Dentistry Now Show has listeners across North and South America, Europe, Asia, and Australia. If you like our show, subscribe today and please tell your colleagues about us.